A date which will live in infamy.
I do not intend to step aside at anyone's request.
The feminists.
No, everybody in America wants civil rights.
Illegal immigrants. Let me answer the question.
The news media has always been an important part of American society. Ever since small newspapers started out in colonial America, media has been used to gain information and also become socialized to new ideas. After the American Revolution, these small papers were controlled by political parties. The political parties used these papers to spread their ideas. Unfortunately, these ideas did not spread far. Right after the Revolution, the majority of Americans were still illiterate. But fast forward to the 1830s and many people could now read. This led to the creation of the penny press and the advent of journalism. By the beginning of the 20th century, there was more competition among news sources. Yellow journalism became popular because journalists figured out that sensationalism sold well. As news media continued to evolve, there was the invention of things such as the radio and the TV, which revolutionized the ability for political figures to communicate directly with their constituents.
Freedom of the press is guaranteed in the First Amendment of the Constitution. This is so that the government cannot regulate any form of public opinion.
The reason that we are written into the First Amendment, the freedom of the press, in addition to the freedom of speech, alongside the free exercise of religion, is that we are necessary to hold accountable the people in power.
Today, there are new mediums that provide us with information. Some examples are social media, blogs, or online news sources. These new mediums allow politicians to better engage with their constituents and also allow the public to share different points of view with each other. But should news sources and social media be regulated to ensure that the information released is factually correct and not driven by hate? The internet makes news easy to manipulate and allows for the expression of all perspectives. Due to the ease of sharing and editing news, there has been a rise in what some people call fake news.
The definition is a little bit easier, and that is news that is presented so it looks like it's coming from a real news source. So, but that's how academics defined it as this problem emerged. President Trump has sort of ruined that academic definition because damn fake news is what he doesn't like, and other people on either side have now sort of adopted this more generic view that it's news that comes from sources that you regard as disreputable, as opposed to the news sites that you actually like.
Media outlets like CNN and MSNBC are fake news. Fake news.
Many people are also calling for social media sites such as Twitter to take down hateful content such as messages of xenophobia or anti-Semitism.
Even though we have transitioned from a phase in history when political parties controlled the news, today news sources have a tendency to be partisan to some degree, which has angered many people and politicians alike.
I believe when you have analyses that say 92% of the coverage is anti-Trump, there's something really profoundly wrong.
Often, people from one side of the political spectrum will point to media sources that have a different partisan lean as being fake or unreputable.
Well, when you report fake news, when you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people.
While the internet and social media especially can divide people along their party lines, it can also bring up new perspectives. Social media allows people to connect with others that they may not have been able to connect with otherwise.
We actually are able to, I would say, find a more diverse group of voices through social media. What's nice about social media is that it does give many different people a voice, and they're able to draw attention to issues that maybe we wouldn't have found out about if it wasn't for their Twitter account or things like that.
At the end of the day, the news is a necessary part of our lives. Overall, the media's intention is not to trick the people. The news helps us as American citizens be more informed on what's going on around us.
So I would say one thing that I think is important to know is that journalists are all, we're not out here to deceive people. Journalists go into this industry because we want to be sure that we're bringing the most, accurate information to people as quickly as possible. And when I say that, I don't mean that journalists are perfect. Journalists make mistakes all the time. But the difference is that journalists make mistakes, they own up to those mistakes, and they correct them immediately.
Right now, the internet presents new, modern challenges in how we consume news and information, and it will continue to play a large role in American democracy and our lives.
Consuming the news takes time, and so you have to be willing. That's the bigger question: is will you do the work of being a serious citizen? And if you're committed to doing that, then the news is easy to find.